G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. So jumping into Go Battle League, and as you can see I'm currently veteran at 2715, and I want to try and push that up into expert. But before we jump into the battles, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below and we can help this channel build. But with that being said, what I'm going to do is jump into the Great League, and there's a Great League remix open, but to be completely honest, I'm not a huge fan. Great League seems to be much more interesting. Yeah, Great League remix, you either get Bastiodon or Double Charm, so it's really not that exciting. Speaking of not very exciting, I'm going to be running the same team that I've been running for a little while now. I'll link to my Season 7 Great League playlist so you can see some of my other battles as well with this team. But I'm going to be running Diggersby on the lead with Mudshot, Fire Punch and Earthquake. Going to be running Skarmory secondary as Air Slash, Sky Attack and Brave Bird, and then Galvantula with Volt Switch, Lunge and Discharge. So I'm running, so my Skarmory and Galvantula obviously really weak to well, Bastiodon and Galarian Stunfisk in the back, so if I do lose lead I'll swap in and try and draw out the counter, and that's the whole point of it, and then it will free that. Hopefully they don't have two counters. I've been running into a lot of Bastiodon and Galarian Stunfisk teams in the back, which are just a nightmare, but as long as they don't have the double counter, it's usually okay. We'll jump into this first one, and there we go. Bastiodon on the lead, which is really annoying. So for this one, what I'm going to do is do a little bit of extra chip damage here. Throw the Fire Punch, because I do want to win. Switch here, and then I'll probably switch out into, so they're going to throw straight into this charge move. I'm going to tank this charge move and then I will switch out. So let's see what they want to do. So the foul play is going to be coming through, and then I'm going to switch into my Galvantula here, and the reason for that is because people, well, reading the team, potentially there's going to be a Venusaur in the back, but let's find out. So I'm going to throw the Lunge, and they don't shield up the Lunge, so that's actually really quite bad for me. I would have liked them to shield that up and be able to do a little bit more damage, so there's less farm for the Bastiodon when it comes back in, because it is going to come back in, and there it is. So Bastiodon comes in. I'm going to have to throw the Lunge here and debuff it a little bit. I don't think I'll be able to make it to another Lunge, but it will be debuffing that attack, and then when I can, obviously I'm going to be coming in with my Bastiodon. I do think they're probably going to switch straight out, so I need to be ready to switch in my Skarmory straight away. So let's see how that goes. So I'll let this countdown clock go, and there it is, countdown. They swap that out, and in comes Medicham. So Medicham obviously, depending on what moveset it's running, potentially is not looking good for me, and it is running Ice Punch, so that's alright. So the movesets that it's most commonly run, so it's either running Ice Punch and Psychic, or Psychic and Power Up Punch, but it's either way, it's absolutely fine. So Medicham, they decide to no shield that. So that's really interesting. So I guess what they're going to plan to do here is to charge up as much energy as they can for the Bastiodon here and go to town on my Diggersby. So all I need to do here is save my shields for Diggersby. It does not matter if they've got all of that extra energy. If I've got two shields, I will be able to outpace, even though I am down energy, down a lot of energy, I will be able to outpace the Bastiodon to charge moves. Chances are they're going to be throwing back-to-back fire flamethrowers, so they should have another flamethrower stored pretty quickly, and now it's within range to be able to start pushing with the fire punches. I do know that they've obviously got shields, so they're going to be shielding that up. So there's no point throwing the Earthquake. I'm not going to get to 3 Earthquakes, but I will get to 3 fire punches, so I might as well just go to town and not even bait now, not even charge up any extra energy. I'm just going to go straight for the fire punches, because at this range, Oh, and I say that, and they decide not to shield. So now what I'm going to have to do is look to farm up the energy, and it will just fast me farm them down. So, um, yeah, they did call the bait there, but to be honest, either way, as long as I didn't get a earthquake shielded up, I was absolutely fine. So, happy days. Able to take the first game. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to get some good leads. So again, going to be running, obviously, good old Diggersby on the lead. Seeing a lot of Bastiodons. I don't know why, but I'm really hating on Bastiodon recently. And I have run a team with Bastiodon. I've run Grasshole teams, which is everybody's least favourite teams, but it just really annoys me. So we'll jump into this next one. We get Altaria on the leads. This is a horrible lead. So I'm going to swap into my Galvantula here. And I'm hoping that they will want to switch this out, which they're not. And I am actually just going to throw the discharge. It doesn't seem to matter what I throw here. I always throw the wrong move, and this is no exception. So if I throw lunge, then the opponent doesn't shield, but if I throw discharge, they do. So I can never get that right. So now I just pretty much go for lunge and hope for the best. So Sky Attack coming through. I'm going to shield that up, and then I am expecting them to switch this out, but they're still not switching it out, so that's fine. I'm going to throw straight into the next discharge, and we'll see if they want to double shield this Altaria. And they don't, so that's okay for me. So I'm going to be able to do a little bit of damage, but I'm not quite able to get to the lunge. It would have been really nice to be able to get to that lunge and pressure that last shield, or they would lose switch advantage. So question is here, what do I come out with? And I'm going to come out with the Skarmory because they have energy stored, and I can soak up this damage with the Skarmory, and it's obviously not going to do as much, and I can also farm it down a little bit quicker. So let's see what they want to bring out now. And out comes a Medicham, which probably tells me they have a Venusaur in the back, which is really not ideal for me. Well, they have something else that's very weak to Skarmory, so let's see what it is. And I'm going to swap out and see what they have. And they've got a Tropius, so not a Venusaur, a Tropius. That is absolutely brutal. So here, what I'm going to do is look to throw the fire punches and do as much chip damage as I can. What I need to do is, what I actually need to do is farm down this Tropius as much as I can, but I do want to be able to farm it down with my Skarmory, and they're not throwing energy, so they know what their win condition is, and that is to throw all of this energy onto the Skarmory, and they can farm me all the way down. So out will come the Skarmory, and I'm going to try and fast move farm this down. I'm not able to get there, and they're going to dump some energy, so I'm hoping I can get another air slash through before they throw more energy. I cannot, so they get to another one. I do get a charge move through, but a fast move through, but unfortunately I'm not able to stop them getting that extra one through. And then out comes the Medicham. I'm going to have to shield this up because it is going to do more damage. I expect it to just be an Ice Punch, which it is. And then the question is, can I get to the Sky Attack? And the answer is no. No, I cannot. So unfortunately, not able to get to the Sky Attack. The Ice Punch is going to be doing enough to take me out there, and that is a good game. So really unfortunate there. The Altaria had very, very little health, so needed to be careful of a sack swap, but unfortunately just not quite able to get there. So good game in that second one, and we'll jump straight into the next one, and hopefully we can get a little bit nicer lead. But had I know, yeah, so you say that, but I should have just sacked the Diggersby because it had absolutely no play. So Bastiodon on the lead for this one, so that's really not ideal. And again, what I'm going to do here is charge up to the Fire Punch, and this just ensures that I can win switch advantage here. The little bit of extra damage that it's going to do is absolutely fine. And I'm going to just let this go, but they are over farming a lot of extra energy, which is unfortunate, and I guess that's because they know that I want them to throw energy and then switch out. So they're going to throw the foul play through, and then I'm just going to, obviously, unfortunately, I'm going to go for another Fire Punch, which was a CMP tie, but that is fine, and they're just going to let that go. So now I'm going to switch into my Galvantula here, and I'm actually not going to shield this up because I know I'll survive the foul play, but I don't want to have any extra health on my Galvantula than I need to, because the Bastiodon is going to come back in, so it's not going to get any farm on me now, so that works out absolutely perfectly. I am going to throw this lunge as soon as it does come back out, because I am fully expecting the Bastiodon to come back out, which it does, and then at least I can debuff it a little bit, although I do expect that as soon as my Diggersby comes back out, that the Bastiodon is going to get out of there and clear that debuff, but let's see what they've got in the back. So we'll let this switch clock count down, but like I said, because our switch clocks are so out of sync now, and then out comes the Medicham. So this is not ideal for me, because I do have to, because our switch clocks are so out of sync, I still can't switch out of this Diggersby. So I'm going to let this go, and it is just the power-up punch. That works out good for me. It's not going to be enough to take me out, and then I'm going to come in with the Skarmory here, and again, just let this go and hope for the best. So power up punch coming through. So the first few power up punches are not going to do a whole lot, but unfortunately it does start ramping up. So even though it's resisted from the flying type of Skarmory, because of the steel typing, it's doing neutral damage, and the real power of power up punch is what it does to the counter damage. So you just start to absolutely crank up that counter damage that you do. So really not looking too great for me, but I can get to another move here, which will be either getting shields or taking them out, and it does get their final shield, so looking really good for me. They are going to be able to charge me down, which is fine. They are obviously going to be able to throw a move. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to shield that up. Even a power-up punch at this range is probably going to be close to KOing me. And I'm going to throw my fire punch, but unfortunately we did CMP tie. But it does mean that I'll be able to throw this and they won't be able to swap out and sack their Diggersby. So it will KO the Medicham at this range, and then the race is on to see who can get to the Earthquake first. Well, if I can get to my Earthquake before they're able to get to their Stone Edge, and I am able to get there. The question is it going to be enough? And I don't think it's quite going to be enough to take it out, but it only leaves it with 2 more fast moves, and down goes the Bastiodon, so able to take that game. So a lot closer than I would have liked it to be, but that's what happens when you stay in for a little bit too long on the Diggersby. So what I should have done there is throwing that fire punch, got straight out of there. But they were not throwing energy, so they overfarmed that energy, which was a little bit unfortunate for me. So we'll jump into, and it meant our switch clocks were way out of time, which was not ideal. So you want to try and keep those switch clocks in line as much as you can. So we'll jump into this next one and see how we go. So hopefully we can get a decent matchup. So it's a Vigoroth, so really not a good matchup because of the counter damage. And what I'll do is jump into the Skarmory, and this is not a bad matchup. I am fully expecting a Shadow Bone to come through, so I'm gonna let this go because again, I'm fine with letting that go. And then I've thrown a Brave Bird. So I'm going to throw this straight into the Brave Bird because they usually don't shield this up. Let's see if they do this time. No shield there. And then obviously that means my defense falls a lot. And we do simultaneously faint. So I need to watch to see what they're going to bring out. So watch that top right hand corner to see the typing up there. And if they throw anything out first, then I'm going to be able to counter that. So I'm going to jump into the next match, and we're into Vigoroth, so we're back into the first round, and they do throw the Bulldoze. Let that go. It's not going to do a huge amount of damage here, and then they swap into Pelipper, so that works out absolutely perfectly for me. Going to be able to come in with the Diggersby here, come in with the Galvantula here, and shield up this first Weather Ball, and we'll see what they want to do. So what I'm going to do here is actually try and farm this all the way down. Unfortunately, they're just able to get to another charge move. I am actually going to shield this one up as well, because I know I can throw the lunges onto, well, I can throw lunge straight onto the Vigoroth and debuff it, and it is going to have to use a lot of energy, and I will be able to get to a second lunge because the Vigoroth did use its energy on the Diggersby. So going to throw straight into this second lunge, and I fully suspect I'll be getting a second shield from this and debuffing it further, so it's just going to make it even worse for it to be able to take me out, and able to only just get there. So we'll see if this body slam is enough. If it isn't enough, I'm just going to swap straight into Diggersby here and then throw the Earthquake, because obviously I don't want them to have energy. And this Earthquake should be enough to take out the Vigoroth. They are very, very squishy in the Great League, and that is a good game. So storing that energy, swapping out, really helped me out there, and being able to T-buff the Vigoroth so much was absolutely, well, it, in the end probably didn't make a difference, but able to debuff it a couple of times, make it use its shield, worked out absolutely perfectly for me. So we'll jump straight into the next one, and let's hope we can get a little bit nicer lead than a Vigoroth. So jumping into this one, we get a little bit of lag as well, and we have Skarmory. So Skarmory is really good because obviously the Galvantula can also handle this, so need to be very careful of the swap out, and so I ended up over farming a lot of extra energy, and then I'm just going to throw the fire punches. They're obviously going to let them go, and then here what I want to do is what I think is probably going to happen is they're going to throw Brave Bird and then get out of there, so just need to be mindful of that. But it is a sky attack coming through, so that works out absolutely perfectly for us, because we didn't use a shield. And then let's just throw straight into this next fire punch and see what they want to do. So they're still not shielding this up, which is fine. And I'm just going to throw straight into the next fire punch, and this should be getting it very, very close. I don't think it's quite enough to take it out at this range. And a couple more fast moves and down it goes. So it was very, very close, but not quite able to take it down. So out comes the Medicham, and the issue here is it's farming up a lot of energy here. So I will be able to throw the Earthquake here and threaten a shield. So I am able to grab a shield here. So I am going to come in with well, it's basically, I know that they've got energy, but I'm still going to come in with the Galvantula, and I've got to be really mindful of a Psychic. So I am going to shield this up because they do have a lot of energy, and it's a dynamic punch that is insane. So going to be throwing the lunge here, and we'll see what they want to do. I fully expect that they will not be shielding. Well, will they shield this up? Won't they? That's so they don't shield that up, which is fine. And they get to another charge move. I'm still wary that they potentially have another dynamic punch, and although it's going to be resisted, but it's a Psychic, so they're running Psychic and dynamic punch. That's a really, really good shield there. And now I'm in a bit of a tricky spot because Mew's going to be able to... Mew could be running anything. So Flame Charge, Wild Charge, Surf. I'm really hoping it's, well, not running Wild Charge, because Wild Charge is going to mean that it does a lot of damage to my Skarmory here. If it's running Wild Charge, I am potentially in a little bit of trouble. So let's see what it's got. So I'm really hoping it's running Surf and Flame Charge here. And it's a Flame Charge, so yeah. So they're definitely running Flame Charge and Surf. What I'm going to do here is over farm by just a little bit, throw the Sky Attack, and then look to get to the Sky Attack on the Medicham when it comes back out. And so we'll see what we can do. So able to get to the Sky Attack before they're able to get to their own charge move, and remember they've got the 2 big hitting moves, so pretty safe bet that we could get there before them. They're only running Psychic and Dynamic Punch, so 2 big hitters, but able to get there first and Sky Attack down. So really good there, able to take the game. So all in all, not doing too bad there, and that's my set. So I'm able to go 4-1 at 27.15 in veterans. So is this going to be enough? So usually you'll be getting around the 40 points when you're at this rank, but first off, let's see what our reward is. Scraggy is the reward. So I do have a video on excellent throws, so I'll link that now if you want to check out how to improve your excellent throws. Yeah, check that video out, but let's see if I can actually get an excellent throw first. Scraggy, I don't mind. A little bit of extra candy is always good, but it does seem to be, yeah, not wanting to play ball here. I'm just going to select my circle size, and then wait for the attack, and then throw. So wait for this thing to stop jumping. There's the attack, there's the throw, and miss the excellent throw. So definitely watch that other video, because that might actually have me hitting an excellent throw. Was still able to catch it, which is good, and because I used the Pineapple, I am going to be able to get the extra candy, and got 2 XL candy. Love to see it. Now the bit that's more interesting is how many rating points am I going to go up? So I hope it's over 40. Well, I hope it's over 35. Well, 35 or above would be nice, but it should be around the 43 mark, I would imagine. So we'll see how we go. So 4-1 is what I needed. 3-2 wouldn't have done the job. 4-1 is going to be possibly questionable. It will depend on the people that I played. So let's claim this reward and see how we go. 27.62. There is Expert. So happy days. Didn't actually make it last season to Expert. Was able to get there this season, and now it's time to change the team up and run some spice. So just a quick note, I've got 360 wins and 590 battles there. So I made it to Ace Trainer. Ace Trainer? Not Ace Trainer. I made it to my previous rank in 294 wins and 475 battles. So I had 115 wins, 115 battles, I should say, between these, and 66 wins. So really not a huge win percentage, but was able to get there in 115 battles. So not too bad, being able to move up the rank. And like I said, if you like the content and haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below. It would be really good to hit the 500 subscriber mark. Let's see if we can do it, but hopefully that was useful for someone. Gives you some ideas on how to rank up if you're struggling to get to Expert. Like I said, I didn't get there last season, was able to make it this season, so happy days. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.